control the vertical.
Welcome to Anthologic, the TV anthology podcast. I am your host, Mark. Anthologic is a podcast dedicated to exploring the good, the bad, and the odd of horror, science fiction, and the best of mystery, suspense, anthology shows and series on TV. Join me as we slip through the cracks of reality to approach the extremes of experience, where we can peruse the stories and art of a sinister fairground of strange and wonderful rides. And now we go on to the show that is the focus of this particular episode. Welcome to this episode of Anthology with your host Mark, and today I'm joined by Sam. Hi Sam.
Hi.
So it's an Outer Limits one. We're back on the Outer Limits train for this one. This particular episode is episode 7 of season 1, and it's called O.B.I.T. O.B.I.T. It's spelled as the initials O.B.I.T. It was directed by Good Oswald, written by Maya Dolinsky, who I don't think's done any of ours, but the cinematography was by Conrad Hall. I think we've seen his work before, and I think some of the cinematography in this is probably distinctive of the Outer Limits, so it kind of makes sense. However, it was originally aired November the 4th, 1963. Given the sort of air of government paranoia and stuff in this one, it's an interesting. This particular episode was aired, let me think, 18 days before JFK got shot.
Yeah.
Dead. Unbelievable. So there was something in the air in America. There was like this air of, government and paranoia, as illustrated by this episode. It's kind of interesting. Anyway, so this one is about a machine that can observe anyone, anywhere, at any time on a certain facility and how it affects morale. But there's a story overlying that, which is there's something on the base killing people. And it's basically a court case, isn't it, this episode?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. There's several actors in it, but the main ones really are... the main characters are really the senator, who's Senator Orville, and there's a bloke that we cut fairly early on. We see implicated as the murderer, don't we? Byron Lomax, who seems to be pulling people's strings. It's kind of weird, but there's other actors and other characters, but those kind to be the same one. Those two seem to be central to it, really. Senator Orville was an interesting guy. Peter Brett was the actor, and I've seen him in a few things, but I have to tell you, he's in a really fantastic film called Shot Corridor. He plays like the lead, and it's like a sort of a bit of an exploitation film, but done really well. Basically, of a news reporter who pretends to be insane so he can get inside an asylum and report on it. But the interactions he has with... basically, there's a murder in an asylum, and he wants to get in there to investigate it, but him going in there and trying to interview the witnesses, who are all mad as well, kind of has an effect on him. It's a really good film. Anyway, he's the lead in that, and the other actor... the other role... by Ramon, it's played by an actor called Jeff Corey, who's in all sorts of things. He's a kind of lean dude, got a distinctive face, bushy eyebrows. Examples of stuff he's been in as, let's think. He was Tom Chaney in The First True Grit, for example. He was in Butch Cassidy. He was one of the characters in Beneath the Planet of the Apes as well. I think one of the apes, though. I'm not entirely sure. But he was in all sorts of things. If anyone's seen this, he played Wild Bill Hickok in Little Big Man, for example. So, again, it's quite a famous American character actor, and it's kind of interesting to see them both in this. Anyway, mostly it's a court case about what happened to murder, but we get this other meta stuff as the audience that's not the main players in the court case don't realise till near the end. What did you think of this one?
It was pretty good. I quite enjoyed it.
I quite enjoyed it too. It was kind of that paranoid. I mean, I really liked. No, I liked it all. I thought it was well written and well acted, but I really liked some of the cinematography and shots. They had like extreme close-ups and strange angles. Did you like all that?
Yeah, there's a lot of good lens work, like some good sort of wide angles, close-ups.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
it was well done, wasn't it? Conrad Hall did a really good job with this. And it sort of kind of plays out. I think it was possibly a little dragged out for the story. I think the story could have been done in maybe, I don't know, 3/4 of the time it was spent. So it was a little dragged out, and there was like this implication of a man using the machine to watch his wife, which was an interesting subplot because he suspected her of something. But we kind of figured out that his suspicion was what destroyed their marriage, not her being unfaithful or anything like that.
Yeah.
That was kind of interesting, but it really wasn't central to the plot. But we also see right at the beginning the murder done by a weird alien thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
A tall, one-eyed alien. Quite good makeup. I quite liked it. What do you think?
Yeah, it was really... It was kind of... It was very Star Trek. I'll give it that, which sounds like an insult.
Yeah.
It was like... The eye was quite convincing. It had one eye.
Yeah.
And it was quite convincing, and evidently the guy could still see somehow. I couldn't really figure out how.
Yeah, it was...
He was still... Or it was just really good blocking, and they knew exactly where everything was supposed to be. So
yeah, it may well have been that. And there was so there was this subplot of this guy who it was a kind of a whistleblower, but he was scared and hiding away, and people said he kind of gone mad, but it turns out he was just scared because he kind of realised something was going on. And he didn't want to tell anyone. And he kind of realised an alien was involved or some other entity. And he was paranoid to say. But somehow the senator managed to persuade him to come on a stand. So there was all that. It resolved very cursorily, didn't it? You know, the thing revealed itself.
It revealed itself and basically said, yeah, you're not going to be able to stop this, and teleported out.
Yeah, and we found out the tech was all over. You know, there were several models of this tech, and more was being built to watch everything and record everything. It makes me laugh because when we think about the internet age, that kind of happens now, right?
Yeah, that's kind of just what it is.
And people go along with it. They're, oh yeah, I don't mind telling Facebook all this stuff as long as I can use Facebook, and so on and so forth. So it's almost like people are complicit because it's convenient. That's how it is. So it's in many ways the story's a bit prescient about what's coming, but not quite in the way it's presenting it. I think. I can't remember what O.B.I.T stands for. It's some.
I don't think they actually said.
No, but it's an observation machine, isn't it? Hold on, outer band individuated teletracer. O.B.I.T.
Okay.
It's a bit like that thing from X-Men that Xavier could use to look at people, find people.
Cerebro.
A bit like that, yeah. It's got that kind of feel to it. It says here the machine can see up to 500 miles away. People, as long as you know.
And they do actually make a point of saying like, this is already like available for the public. It's out there. We can't really stop it now. So,
and it's led to rumours about being spied on by all the stuff, and there's also another subplot about the morale of the base because they're being spied on all the time. It reduces morale greatly. And someone makes the usual great point in this circumstance. It goes, well, if you aren't doing it, if you're not guilty of anything, why would you care? Which is the great.
Which is kind of gets thrown around a lot nowadays.
So, why do you want to be something hidden from people unless you're doing something shady? That's the implication, isn't it? That was it. So this had a lot of themes that kind of are still around and felt quite advanced and sophisticated for what was going on because it was wrapped up in sci-fi. It got past people. I think it's kind of feels like that. And I like the cut and thrust of the sort of courtroom element of this too. I was a bit confused about one of the characters. The general acted very shady, like he was in cahoots with the alien things, but it turned out he wasn't. It appeared by the end. Didn't it? It was kind of. I like when the alien finally gets revealed and he goes nuts and just throws paper around. And it was kind of curious. There was one bit we were watching it together, weren't we? And I was confused. I said, "Well, that's not the same actor as who was playing that." But then it kind of turns out it wasn't. It was one of the other aliens looked very similar to the first alien. They just
thinking about it, it's just They Live, really.
Yeah, it is. You made that point when we were watching it. It's basically They Live. They live, as you're right. It's kind of the aliens are starting to control things. And there's this implication that maybe they're in cahoots with people in charge, because the general seems to be a bit complicit. And he gets sweaty about things he shouldn't have got sweaty about, but it's not revealed by the end whether he was or not. So you assume he wasn't, right? Because it wasn't shown in the story. So, yeah, it was kind of interesting. So there was two horrific aspects. There's this machine that can see anywhere, and then an alien having introduced this technology, and presumably he killed the bloke at the beginning because he found something out. Because I can't even remember why he killed him. The alien was saying, "Why can't I get a trace?" The man was saying, kind of implying he couldn't get a trace on something. He was confused, and then up came the alien behind him. And it was kind of interesting that right at the beginning it was revealed to the audience, who anyone being reasonably observant would have got it, that it was this Byron guy was the alien, because he had a weird hairy hand, which the murderer had, with strangulation. So there was that. So it was a very solid episode, actually, all round. Not a bad one at all. And you know what? I couldn't remember it all. And I've seen all the Outer Limits. It was a long time ago, but I have seen them all. But I could not remember this episode at all. But I did like it, and so on. I haven't really got much more to say about it. What about you? Anything else?
No, not really.
It feels a bit like
kind of covered it all.
Yeah, it feels a little influential, doesn't it? You know, as you say, They Live seems to be sort of what's going on here, and this whole spying thing. If you look at some of the later paranoid, things about government paranoia movies, I'm trying to think, Manchurian Candidate and things like that. They've got elements of this too, so it could be reasonably influential. And you got to wonder if John Carpenter saw this as well. When he was developing They Live. I don't know how he came to it, actually, if he developed it or if he just found it, but there is definitely elements of that. Yeah, so okay, we call it the episode over there then. Okay, so one question before we go: is anybody out there?
We now return control of your television set to you until next week at this same time, when the control voice will take you to